Hello and welcome to Weyermann's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this May the Beauty of the Season Bring You Joy and Warm Memories to Cherish Throughout the Year. We're going to be using this die and the greeting from the Evergreen Elegance set. And I am using paper from the Tidings of Christmas 6x6 designer series paper, and that's actually in the main catalog. So what I've done with this one is I've got a very vanilla card base in a tent fold. I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight in 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and I've got a piece of the designer series paper in 5 1/4 by 4. And then I've taken one of the contour scalloped dies to create the greeting. When I first did this one, I got just a little hint of the Misty Meadow on the outside as a border around the Tidings of Christmas paper. And I had done the greeting in the Misty Moonlight. And it's okay, but to me, it didn't pull out the elements of the little sprigs like I wanted it to. So that's why I went with the gold embossing powder on here. And I used the bling from the brushed metallic adhesive back. I'm going to do something just a little bit different on this one, and I'm going to use the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. So let's go ahead and get started. This one's going to be noisy because I am actually going to do the heat embossing during the video. I realize I quite often do that beforehand so I don't bother everybody with the noise on the video, but it occurred to me that there's some people who might be fairly new to this who don't actually haven't heat embossed or are a little confused about how to do it. So I'm going to run through that, bit of a Technique Tuesday kind of video. So what I have here is called an embossing buddy, and it's almost like chalk, but what it does is you rub it over the paper that you're going to heat emboss, and it takes the static out of it. Then I'm going to take my Versamark stamp pad, and I'm going to ink up the greeting. Now, you may have noticed, if you've got eagle eyes, the greeting on my sample card is not 100% straight. That's because I had already cut the blanks out, and I didn't use my Stamparatus to line things up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this down. And then I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to bring my embossing powder in. I'm using the Stampin' Up! Gold embossing powder. And I'm just going to sprinkle this on. These trays are excellent. They capture all of your kind of cast off. And you can see it's a bit gumpy on there, so I'm just going to give it a tap and it comes off, and it's very, very clear. Now, if there's any areas where you think you might need it a little bit more, you can just tap it on, and then I'm just using the side of the spoon just to tap it away. So now what I need to do is I'm actually going to put that to the side. I'm going to take my heat tool, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of noise because I'm actually going to do this on the video. So I'm just going to turn it on. It has to heat up a little bit, and you're just going to move it over your embossing powder, and I'm going to try, after a bit you'll see it start to change and it gets shiny, and that's when you know that it's all heated through. If when you look at it there's any areas that are dull or not completely kind of melted, just hit it with the heat gun again. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, and I'm actually going to do the vines down the side. I wanted to do this bit first because I wanted to make sure I was straight. Now I'm going to use this one as a guide as to where I need to put this. I'm inking it up with the Versamark, and then I'm going to come in here like this. Just give it a press. Try not to rock it, because if you rock it, you will get kind of the halo effect, and it will catch embossing powder. So I'm just put the lid back on that for now. I'm going to bring my tray back in, and I'm just going to use up some of this excess that's come out. And whoops, and I've spilled some on the paper, which is, you know, par for the course for me. I end up with embossing powder all over the place. Okay, so just giving it a bit of a tap to get rid of the excess there. And if there is a little bit of extra, you can see if you can scrape it away, but sometimes you can't. We are going to be actually trimming this, so it's not such a big deal. So I'm gonna put that off to the side, and I'm gonna make noise again with the heat gun so you get another opportunity to see the embossing. Okay, hopefully you could see that in the light where I was using the heat tool. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side for a little bit. I just want this is all melted powder, so we want to give it a minute just to settle before we start running it through the cut and emboss machine so we don't squish any of the detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal and start building the card. And that one's empty. Nothing like grabbing the empty Stampin' Seal container. And then we're just going to put some strips of Stampin' Seal, and we are going to layer this up. Now this just has the 1/8 inch all the way around. So we're just going to do that, and then we can take this and add this, the Tidings of Christmas Designer Series paper. And you can decide if there's a right way up that you prefer on this. And then again, you're just going to line it up. So you've got that 1/8 inch border all the way around. It doesn't show a lot. You can do this piece, this 5 1/4 by 4. You could do it 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 if you wanted more of a border. I just wanted it just to pick up the blue. I really wanted to pick up the Misty Moonlight in this. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut out our greeting. So we're just going to make sure this is straight. And I'm going to use a sticky note just to hold this down. And you'll notice that I do have this on an angle. Again, I don't want any straight edges to go up against the roller in my cutting machine. It just helps keep everything moving with less stress on the machine. Okay, so let's just pop this off. Whoops. And put this aside, and we'll put everything back together that I've just pulled apart. So there is our greeting, like that. And we can dimensionalize this onto our card front. So I'm just going to pop dimensionals in each corner, like that. And just peel those off. And then we need to put it in we need to center this in the card. Make sure it's the right way up. And so we're just going to put that down like that. Now, as I said, on this sample card, I used the brushed metallic gems. And I am actually going to use the holiday rhinestones, because I'm actually going to put them in the little evergreen bough here. I'm actually going to put them in so it looks like it's decorated. And I'm going to use a couple of the different colors on this. And I'm just going to pop them in like that, just so it looks like there's lights in the garland here. And you can put as many or as few as you want in. I kind of like it with just the 3. You could put more in if you wanted to. But that is our May the Beauty of the Season Bring You Joy and Warm Memories to Cherish Throughout the Year card. Thank you very much for watching, and let's create together again soon.